I'll call the meeting to order for the Walton Road Board of Education, February 22nd. If everyone can please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is roll call. Let the record show that 4 board members are present. Megan is absent. Item 1C, approval of the agenda. Need a motion?
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Second.
I'll make it.
Any discussion? We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor? Motion passed. Item 2, informational items, 2A spotlight report, Walton Road Middle School Governor's Cup.
Let's go.
You think they can just get their speeches to this week. So we are so excited to be here today. Sorry Mrs. McNeil wasn't able to join us tonight, as I'm sure she would have loved to have been here. We are here to give you an update on districts and let you know how we did with Governor's Cup. Everyone here partook, and they're going to share their experiences as well. But overall, we went to districts. We were in a group of Williamstown and Steeplechase. The way the brackets work for quick recall is Williamstown got a bye, and so we had to go against Steeplechase first. And in the end, we ended up having to beat Williamstown twice in order to win that quick recall. So the kids, I mean, I can't even say enough great things about the way that they performed and the way that they carry themselves, and really represented Houghton, in a different school system, and they did a really great job. So we had 9 students overall placed for assessments, which is the written portion, and we will be going on to regionals on March 23rd. So we're gonna start with Levi here.
It was a very nice experience to be with new people on the academic team districts. Going against Steeplechase and Williamstown was very fun. Going against new county teams, being a refresher and all that. I got first in math and third in composition.
Great job, buddy.
My name is Toby Hedges, and I got in the math part of Governor's Cup, and I placed 4th overall. I thought it was really good, and I thought the teachers prepared us really well for the math Governor's Cup piece.
Thank you.
I'm Amadou, and I qualified for 2 things in the Governor's Cup, which is language arts and social studies. I placed first in social studies and second in language arts. Like Levi said, it was a very fun experience meeting new people, and all in all, it was a very fun day.
Thank you.
My name is Anderson, and I qualified for regionals in writing composition. I got first in it. And I had an hour to complete the prompt and give it to me. And I think it was part of the stuff I figured out how to get first.
Hi, my name is Micah, and I got first place in social studies, which was hard because I had to learn a lot of history, and I made friends, and had fun. Hi, my name is Allison, and I qualified for arts and humanities, and I got second place.
We also got the Sportsmanship Award voted by Williamstown and Steeplechase.
Very nice.
So thank you.
Good job, guys.
Well done. Thanks for coming in and talking to us, I appreciate it. Thanks, Holly.
Thanks for having us.
And of course, everyone, if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're free to go whenever. Yeah, definitely. Item 2B, audience of citizens. I believe we have none. Is that correct? Item 2C, principals, ECC, and bridge report. Last month, I can let everybody up to open this. I don't know if everyone is okay with that again tonight. If people have specific questions on the board.
I love I love what we did last month. I think that's it. We can continue that. I think it's wonderful.
So thank you. I know the impact survey data was in there. Like, I did take a look at that. I encourage everybody to take a look through if you haven't. There's a lot of good information in there and more to come. But thank you so much. I would open it if anybody has anything they want to specifically highlight on their individual reports or about the impact survey data. You're more than welcome to come in and share that with us or share from your seats. Otherwise, I think we're good to proceed. Item 2D, the attendance enrollment report.
All right, good evening, everybody. Our first thing I wanted to point out was today I noticed walked in and it was not dark at this point. Last time it was dark when we walked in and of course dark when we walked out. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel, which is the other part of this graph here. As you can see, we're down on line 2 now, so that's a good sign that spring is right around the corner. Our overall attendance percentage for the district, 92.77. So we did take a little bit of a dip there from last time. However, we rolled back. Anyway, we hope that our next month will be a little bit higher percentage for attendance, which it should be now with holidays kind of over and some of that's out of the way. Hopefully we can avoid the illness bug. It's creeping around. So, any questions about, oh, and our attendance winner is the middle school. Sorry. Thank you for bringing it back without being asked. Let me get that.
I put it where you told me to put it.
For this chance to be on camera. Middle school, congratulations.
There you go. Item 2, construction report. I don't know if you have anything specific or if you have specific questions.
I just know somebody's been busy.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity for sure.
More went on after There is a lot of activity.
No.
Unless there's anything specific you want to highlight, I think we're good on our end.
I tried to put enough on there for you for everybody to see what was going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of information. Definitely appreciate it, and I know that there's a ton of activity that's happening right now, and it's not going to get any easier. I don't think as we move closer to the beginning of next year.
We got one storm shelter for Donkey Pop today. That's a good goal. We're getting ready for the next one next week, or beginning of March. The roof. And that's third.
Excellent. Thank you. Item 2F, superintendent non-work days. Did everyone have a chance to look at those? Item 2G, personnel. Did everyone have a chance to look at that? Yes. Item 2H, other. Do you have anything?
I do. Board members, as you're aware, KSBA is coming up. Just like I said, I'm looking forward to that. Spending time with you guys in Louisville. I've included, put on your table there, a very kind email from Amber Wolf, our varsity cheerleading coach, as well as a letter from one of our senior cheerleaders, Beatrice Hanks, on behalf of the cheerleading, squad. So just a very kind thank you letter from that group. Our portrait of a learner work continues. We had our first large community meeting this week. I'm very, very pleased with that work and how it progresses, and you will be receiving an update on that work tomorrow in your weekly email. It is my intention to host 2 forums for all district employees next week. Board members, you are welcome to attend. We'd love to have you there. I will send the presentation to you, just so you have it. The first is Wednesday, the 28th at 3:15 in the multi-purpose room, and I'll send this to your email, so you'll have it Friday. As well as Thursday, the 29th at the Elementary School Media Center at 4 o'clock. The reason I'm holding these, and it's a voluntary forum for all of our staff members. There was a lot of rhetoric during the recent governor's race about significant raises for school employees, for teachers. I think Governor Beshear was quoted numerous times as advocating for an 11% pay raise. I can't remember the exact number Attorney General Cameron was advocating for, but they were throwing some large numbers out. Our current state budget, as it currently sits, which is House Bill 6, does not contain consistent funding to allow any Board of Education, any superintendent to recommend significant raises for employees. KASS, and I'll share this data with you, KASS recently surveyed all superintendents, and I think the number is 53% of superintendents indicated that with the funding available in House Bill 6, they would be able to recommend to their boards between 0 and 2%. It does not even keep up with inflation, and I find this particularly frustrating. Since 2008, our state budget has more than doubled, and during that time, the amount of money the legislature allocates through the SEEK formula has remained pretty stagnant, between 1.9 and 2.2 billion. At a time when our state budget has doubled. So I'm just trying to share that data with our staff, encourage them to contact their legislators, but also to be very clear and transparent that the current budget as it currently sits does not provide us with the consistent funding that we would need to offer all employees salary increases. So again, you're welcome to attend. I'll share the presentation with you. So just trying to encourage our staff members to contact their legislators.
The agenda is the same, it's just 2 different locations.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Any questions? Does anyone else?
I sent 2 forwards. So I will not be able to make the June meeting. Does anyone anticipate any issues with that? So, and then can we finish our conversation about graduation? I know we had talked about who would be getting the diplomas. We kind of need to come soon to a resolution, especially, we have a date.
Yeah, I agree, to kind of shelf that a little bit.
When's our next working meeting? Does anyone know
Our next working meeting, I believe, is May the 21st. Or May the 16th, I'm sorry. May the 16th.
When is our March meeting? So you could wait until the March meeting and set an item on the agenda to look at discussion. Or if you like, we could have a special meeting and specifically assess that topic between now and March. And either one is.
There may be a need to have a special meeting in late April about salary scales. The legislature adjourns on April the 15th. So I'm hoping at that point we actually have a state budget. So there may be a need for a special meeting in late April, early May to discuss that. So just put that out there.
Yeah, and I think, probably the sooner rather than later, so just between Ms. Hester, Ms. Renee, and all those that are involved in planning the graduation ceremonies and what that looks like, I don't want to mess that up too much, give them plenty of notice for whatever comes from that.
So are folks okay with if we table this for now, and then Dr. Baker and I work on whether we include this in the next March meeting or try to set up a special meeting in between. I'd like to also give Megan an opportunity to be here so we got a full board discussion on this.
Yeah, my 2 cents, yeah, just sooner rather than later, because I think we've shelved it once already. So instead of just continuing to kick it down, we just need to get some answers, and again, so that,
Yeah.
we don't put it on these guys at the last minute.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing it back up, because I knew we had talked about it, and then there was no resolution when we come back, so is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll talk offline and then put together some proposals on dates to see if we can get everybody in. As a default, if for whatever reason we can't make everybody's schedules align, we'll plan for the next meeting in March. Okay, great, thank you. Anything else for other? All right, moving into item 3, recommended board motions. 3A, approval of the minutes for January 25th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
First by Heather, any discussion? Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3B, approval of superintendent's expense report. Do we have a motion?
I'll make it.
First, any discussion? Thank you for the heads up on this in advance, I appreciate that. Do we have a second?
I'll make it.
A motion made and seconded. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3C, approval of the treasurer's report. We have a motion.
I'll make it.
First by Aubrey. Any discussion or questions?
As always, thank you.
Sorry, I had this in the second time, but we had a little issue with it, didn't get charged the shipping costs, and it was enough that they wanted it, so, right?
Yeah, of course.
Your notes always help quite a bit. So when you send that email, just know, I know it's a lot of work on your end to send that and to hide, but it helps quite a bit. So
It's
thank
easier
you.
to do that, there you get opportunity to ask questions than to do it all year, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
very much appreciate
That's
it.
great. It helps streamline the meetings and everybody at least has access to it.
Yeah.
So thank you. Do we have a second for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you. Motion made in second. All in favor? Thank you. Motion passes 4-0. Easily distracted, of course. Item 3D, approval of pay application 13 for Morel Construction, Walton Vernon Intermediate School. We have a motion.
I'll make it.
We have a first by Heather. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second for Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3E, approval of the orders of the treasurer, bills. We have a first.
I'll make it.
First by Jamie. Any questions or discussion? Second.
I'll make that one.
Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3F, approval of salary schedule revision. We have a motion.
I'll make it.
We have a motion. Any questions or discussion? Did everybody have a chance to look at this?
Yeah.
Sorry, I sent that email out today, just so you can see it, I wanted to double check with Michelle to make sure the wording was correct for those grants there. Specifically, I apologize, but we had a meeting with them on Monday, but I've had a couple of meetings and web calls and things with all the rest of the finance officers with the co-op about how we can do grants in the future, so.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second. I don't think I did first, so I'll
Second by Jamie. All those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3H, approval of REH architects to assist the district in developing the information needed for KDE submittal and guide the LPC. Did I skip that? I'm sorry, thank you. We'll back up. Item 3G, approval of Walton Vernon Independent School School-Based Mental Health Grant Educational Assistance Plan. Thank you. We have a motion? Motion by Aubrey. Any questions? Do we have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Heather. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Now, item 3H, take 2. Approval of REH Architects to assist the district in developing the information needed for KDE submittal and guide the LPC. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Motion by Jamie. Any questions or discussion? Do I have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3I, approval of 3 community business leaders to serve on the LPC. Do you have a motion?
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Any questions or discussions on this one?
So it can only be 3, and we have
Yeah, we have 4.
They would all be fantastic.
Yeah.
There's not a wrong answer here.
Agree.
Right.
So what's our protocol? Do we pick the 3 tonight? Or do
We have to select 3. So we have 3 that are listed in here, and there's 1 additional that came after this.
So I would just throw out Kings, Hudson, Martin, Matt. That's who I would.
Well, you can't go wrong here at all.
Right.
I'm not overly familiar with Kyle Lynn, but going off of some of the things I've seen, he seemed fairly impressive and just trying to get somebody kind of new into the district as well. But I mean, looks like he's going to be here. I think he's graduated from here, I think maybe, and then I think his kids are in school here as well. He's got a fairly impressive background, and as much as I love the others as well. I think they're involved in a lot of stuff right now as well, so in efforts of not burning them out, or I think every committee I've been a part of, I've seen the rest of these guys in that as well, so I think Kyle Lynn is definitely worth consideration there.
They all seem well qualified.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer. So I think Kim had served, I think she had served before, right, on this same committee?
Yeah, she served 2 DMPs.
If I'm reading this right, most of these people are responding to your direct request for help, right? Like, hey, no one responded, I'm begging you.
Yeah.
So like,
Right.
I don't think it needs to be heartbroken.
All 4 of them.
Okay.
No.
Maybe.
We're not dragging anybody along, something that we're, just want to make sure we don't have somebody in there that's doing it because they feel the pressure to do it, but they want to do it.
And they all are more than willing to help.
Yeah.
Whether you said Pinks, Hudson, Martin.
Yeah, just threw them out
You
because I
said
know their
Lynn.
work and their dedication. I mean,
Yeah.
but looking at Lynn, I
Yeah.
mean, he looks, to Jamie's point, and Dr. Baker, there's really no wrong of the way you either.
Yeah, has anybody, so other than the emails, anybody's spoken to them via phone or anything that's?
I had not contact.
I think all 3, I think your question was going to be who has served. I'm pretty sure Pinks has served
My question's
before,
going to be, have any of
Martin
those
has
3 have
served
served?
before, and Hudson has served before. I don't believe Lynn.
No.
As far as I know, since 2012.
I personally, it's just my thought is giving someone an opportunity. I don't want to take away an opportunity of someone to serve that hasn't gotten that opportunity to serve before. So to me, he would definitely be a pick for me, just to give him that opportunity to be involved with the community. So
Yeah, I have the same thoughts about having some new members on there if possible. But when we got the original list, I was like, oh, I know these people.
yeah.
I know Hudson and Martin served on the Wade Foundation.
On the Wave, on the calendar committee, Jeff was at,
Oh, it's on film.
Portrait of a Bear Cat, he was at that. But I think he's, and he may love all of that, but he also may wouldn't mind.
Agreed.
I would propose Lynn, Hinks, and either Hudson or Martin.
Yeah.
Kevin, were you
I
gonna
heard
say something?
I was just gonna say, you said those guys were on the Wave Foundation. I know Jeff recently became, he took like a leadership role with some of the changes that they've had in the last few months. So I don't want to speak for him, but he probably has plenty to deal with.
Yeah, and running a business and all the things, so.
Jeff, we love you. We thank you for your dedication. Sounds like this was to pass on this one, but we appreciate you.
He's probably not watching it.
He's gonna watch pass.
He's too busy. So, he's not watching.
But in case he watches later.
Yes, you watch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
So much.
So, Lynn, Hudson, and Pete.
Hinks, I'm good with that.
Okay, who's gonna call Jeff?
I mean,
I was gonna contact all.
Dude, I didn't say that.
Can you let them know how much we agonized? Thank you.
They'll be able to watch the footage.
I know, I'm sweating, I'm turning red, yeah. It's stressful.
All right, so the motion then would be that we would recommend Lynn, Hinks, and Hudson.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Any further questions, discussion, debate? All right, we'll need a second for this.
I'll second.
Second by Jamie. All those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3J, approval of one board member to serve on the LPC. Do I have a first?
I'll make first.
First by Jamie. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second?
Sure. I feel like I shouldn't second myself, but I'll second myself.
Even you.
Are there seconds for self on the nomination? All those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3K, approval of the 2024-2026 SFCC construction offer of assistance. And this is correct, right? 2024 to 2026. Okay. Do we have a first?
Okay.
First by Heather. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3L, approval of the 2024 Continuation Program Plan, CPP.
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second? Second by Aubrey. All those in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3M, approval of Family Resource and Youth Service Centers, FRISC, School District Assurance Certification, ES for 2024-2026. We have the first. First by Jamie. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Heather. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3N, approval of Family Resource and Youth Service Center, FRISC, School District Assurance Certification, Middle School, High School for 2024-2026. We have a first.
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3O, approval of MOA for Eastern Kentucky University CSD student teacher at Walton Verona High School. We have the first.
I'll make it.
First by Aubrey. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Heather. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3P, approval of addendum to MOA for Eastern Kentucky University CSD student teacher at Walton Verona High School. questions or discussions? We have a second. Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3Q, approval of second reading of Board Policy 08.113, graduation requirements.
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Any questions or discussion? Do we have a second? Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3R, approval for graduation date Friday, May 24th. First by Heather. This is the part of the video everybody's going to fast forward. Any questions? We're on the phone already. Any questions or discussion? All right, great. Do we have a second? Second by Jamie. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3S, approval of field trips.
I'll make it.
First by Heather. Questions or discussion? Do we have a second?
I'll make it.
Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3T, approval of the 2024-2025 calendar.
I'll make it.
Thank you.
Well, hold on just a second. I have to throw it in here.
Oh, no.
We're not really approving this tonight. According to the KRS, we have to discuss it first. Okay, a subsequent meeting, we approve.
I was wondering what happened to that part, but I'm like, okay.
I thought we were fast tracking this.
That's what I thought. I was like, we are giving them.
I'm sorry to get down on here, but that may have to.
Should we adjust this to discussion of?
Yeah. Approval of discussion.
Discussion if we table this. Okay, so I would say for this, thank you for the update and for keeping us on point on this. So I would say we'll table the approval portion of this for tonight, and we'll have a discussion. We'll obviously share the calendar information with us, and this will be on agenda item, hopefully, for next month.
If you end up having that special meeting we were talking about, potentially doing it.
Does that make sense to kind of, I know a lot of
Yeah,
parents,
for sure.
teachers, everybody is eager to get
That's just even more reason to have a special meeting.
So you're saying we're not even discussing it tonight?
No, we'll discuss it tonight, we just can't
Just-
approve the calendar.
Yeah, but if we could have, if we're allowed to have a special meeting to approve between now and before next month, waiting 30 days, waiting 30 more days for approval is,
I think we could even call a special meeting just for the purpose of coming and approving this calendar. So that can be quick, even if we can't find a time that we can get all 5 of us together and discuss between now and then. If we get a quorum, we can still push this.
okay.
Okay, thank you. Tonight's discussion, we've got two recommended versions of the calendar for us to kind of chew on tonight. So in my email, I think I explained to you that we have them labeled as white and blue. So it looks like we're looking at the white first. And you should have this in your board items as well. Both calendars are pretty similar, but they do have different start dates, and there's a few other little variations between the two. I thought both were good. I don't think I would personally be upset with either one of them. And I don't think most other people would either. But let's go through them, and we can ask questions, and I can point out the differences between the two. And then if one of them strikes you as the one you would probably pick, then my recommendation would be let's go ahead and choose white or blue tonight, so that for our next meeting we can go ahead and say calendar approval on the agenda next time, and that is the one we're voting on. Okay, we're not going to have like vote for white, and then the next item down vote for blue, and then we have to like not vote for one for.
Did you see how much trouble we had here?
Yeah. So we'll try to keep it I would advise, try to keep it as simple as possible. Just vote on one thing. So tonight you can kind of toss it around, and of course you have the time between now and the next time to kind of ask questions that maybe you didn't think of tonight. So anyways, with the white calendar, if you want to pull that one up, or if you can see the TV, you can look at that too. Let me explain the key real quick to our viewers and to you guys. The brownish colored days there are teacher planning days, so those are days they do have to show up. And there will be some sort of agenda for the teachers to perform some tasks throughout the day. It's still a paid work day, but it is one of the ways we can fill the teacher contract of 186 days, along with our instructional days and our opening day, closing day, holidays, etc. But the magic number that we have to come up with is 186, okay, of those days. That does not include, that 186 does not include the yellow ones that say non-instructional. Just bear that in mind. All right. So the first white calendar here, we would start off with a total of 3 teacher work days, starting on Wednesday, August 14th. That would be followed by 2 professional development days. And in blue, we have our opening day on the 21st. That's the day where the teachers get together, and we have the big grand get together at lunchtime. That's always a good morale boost right before kids show up on the 22nd. So we would be in session for 2 days there that week, and then off we run. Things are pretty normal as far as traditional calendars that we've had in the past, all the way up through the Christmas holiday. So the Christmas holiday, we have a full 2 weeks for teachers and staff, and then an additional 2 days for the kids to be off. And those are coded as teacher work days, the 6th and the 7th of January. And the reason for that is the committee felt pretty strongly that we would need some paid teacher time at semester break in order to facilitate moving into the new building efficiently without having kids there and them having to be in the middle of all of that, and it would give everybody a chance to move in, or in some cases, some teachers would be moving rooms within the same building that they're already in. And if you're not moving into a room, you may be called upon to help move others in. So it would be a work day for sure. Now, that being said, it is a pretty good-sized break there for everybody. It is a full 2 weeks. So, but I do think that would be a valuable use of that time, and the committee felt it would be as well, and we felt pretty strongly about that. So you're going to see that on the blue version of this calendar as well. I would also point out this is a presidential election year coming up, so we do have the 5th off. We do have to shut down the building completely. That's not one where the teachers are even allowed to be here. So, go teachers. In a regular general election, the teachers are allowed to be there, just the kids aren't. But on this one, nobody's allowed to be there. Okay, so moving along, we have a day off in February, a day off in March, which we try to make sure we had. And some other years we've had before, they have had a whole month of we have a single day off. Those get pretty long in the wintertime especially. So try to plan a few days there. And then spring break falls a little bit offline with what we've done in the past, where we've tried to include Good Friday into spring break. This one does not. So Good Friday is on April 18th next year. So that would be a day of instruction. Can you scroll down just a bit? After fall break, we come back. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. about 6 weeks until the state testing would be taking place, and then we wrap up the final week of May after Memorial Day. Also, here's a caveat I need to point out. You may, if you took a look at these attachments early, you may have noticed early release days on prom and final student day. Okay, we just got news this week, literally 2 days ago, that KDE is no longer allowing school districts to count an early release day as a day of instruction. If you have an early release day, you would have to tack on an additional instructional day to cover that partial day that you didn't come for the full 360 minutes. Okay? So therefore, kind of hold the principles on this, and all were pretty much in agreement. If it's going to mean messing with this calendar, we were good to not do any early release days. So this is put an X across that. That is probably not on the recommendation at this point. So again, if we added an early release day somewhere, we would have to tack on an additional instructional day, which basically would mean we would just have to remove a teacher work day or one of these yellow non-instructional days somewhere so that we bring it back. But again, the principals, all three chimed in. I at least got their input on it. We did not feel strongly enough about keeping them to mess with the calendar. So, for what that's worth. Okay, let's go through to blue calendar. All right, the blue calendar, I'll just point out the differences because like I said, they are very similar. This one starts a little earlier and it also ends a little earlier. So you can see here we start with kids on a Friday, which is August 16th. We would fill that week with a combination of teacher work days, professional development, and working day. Yeah. September is pretty much the same. October is pretty much the same. November differs slightly because we've got a teacher work day in between weekend and presidential election. So that would give your students and families a nice 4-day holiday. Teachers would have to report that day. Teachers would have to report on the Okay, so that is one difference. December and January are identical. So the last calendar we just looked at, so is February, so is March, so is April. Spring break, week prior to Good Friday. And then in May, due to the fact that we're starting a little bit earlier, we also end a little bit earlier. So the kids' last day would be on Friday, May 23rd, before Memorial Day. And then the teachers would have to come back for 2 days after Memorial Day in order to fulfill that 186-day contract we talked about. So those are the two versions of a school calendar that our committee came up with last Monday. By the way, we had great turnout. Everyone that was on the list came, and we got a good representation. All the required statute representation was there, and very helpful, great comments, great discussion. And I feel like we came up with two pretty good ideas here. So,
Was there one that you preferred?
well, I think the majority of people are kind of leaning towards the first one. Although I pulled them out of the label it light blue, so it didn't look like they were labeled number 1 and number 2. But I think they kind of like that starting on Thursday idea. But the whole thing about getting out for Memorial Day, they have some weight with some people. So
I said, you know,
But they like the one that doesn't change?
well, the thought was, and being part of the committee, people are very passionate about this calendar. What I found out from my first time on the committee.
there.
So thank goodness the principals were in attendance as well, to kind of voice some stuff on that as well. But yeah, everybody, whether it was a teacher or whether it was a parent, people are passionate about this. I think from a teacher standpoint, they definitely wanted to make sure that during that Christmas time, if we're looking at moving into the intermediate school, nobody's coming in on a personal day off. And think giving time to move into the intermediate school was a big one. I think that the core kind of wrapped around that. And then it was, do you want to start? Do you want a little bit longer in summertime? So in August, you're starting a little bit later, like roughly a week later, starting on having a Thursday, Friday of school. Obviously, from an elementary standpoint, I don't think starting on a Monday or Tuesday was an option because we having elementary kids there for a full week, the first week. So giving a little bit longer in that summer months, but just going 2 or 3 days extra on Memorial because let's face it, it's not like you got the best weather on May 27th necessarily. So that was the thought process. I mean, some didn't want to come back to school in August at all. So. There was that.
Thanks for your service there. I think this is the first time I haven't been on this committee in a long time, so it felt weird.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you dug in and did a great job. People are very passionate.
Yeah.
I'm not positive, but I think, is it last year, Rob, we had like 3 meetings to discuss the
Yes.
calendar. So
I can see that.
a lot, I mean, after it came back from the committee, the board had 3 meetings before we could align on the calendar.
Yeah.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not happening.
Well, I'm just gonna throw it out, I'm leaning toward the blue one.
Yeah, so my assumption when you were presenting these, I was like, okay, you didn't want to number them 1 and 2, but the preference is clearly blue. That's why I was like, maybe talk about.
Well, that may speak to the teacher's level of knowing that 2 days is maybe preferable to 1 on that first day of instruction, the first week of instruction. But I don't think it would be, I don't think anybody would cry over having only 1 day.
I mean, I think the great is weird to come back on Friday. But I love in the blue that you spaced out some of the teacher work days, so it's not 6 days stacked up front. But, I mean, if that's what they want.
We need them this year.
You need them?
We do.
Okay. Give the people.
Yeah, that's what, that's where I stand. I mean, I'm going to align with, the committee was definitely going towards the white calendar. Again, not to make it 1 and 2. They're very clear that they were 1 and 2 either. So the white calendar, and I think that the biggest thing behind it too was that Christmas and then moving spring break up a little and then just making sure going into next year. So just so that we're clear, I will stand with the committee personally. That's where I will fall, is with the tribe has spoken.
I'm just personally surprised they want to come back after Memorial Day. Because, I mean, a lot of families plan time to go away because that's like the first day. Summer kickoff and they go away, and they're gone that Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. So I just don't even know how attendance would look like.
So the notes I made when you were going through and updating this was on the white calendar. The only real note that I made was this will be great for the intermediate school.
Yes.
Because I saw the late start, so it's going to be great for them. But then the blue calendar, for me, the note that I wrote there was like, attendance. Because what I'm worried about is after Memorial Day, like how many people are just not going to come back? They're just they're going to take that week and just be gone. I don't know what the impact will be for that. So just top line, so I make sure I got it right. Like fall break, that's the week of the 14th in both calendars, right?
Yes. It includes Columbus Day. We thought, that seems to make some sense to what
And the spring break is the week of April 7th in both
The same,
calendars.
yeah.
And it looks like Christmas is 2 weeks in those, is that?
It is, it's the same.
Yeah.
So those are all the same.
It's really the start and end.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, again, I just from the committee standpoint, especially teachers going into next year, it's going to look completely different for parts of the elementary and parts of the middle, where there's even conversation with, the elementary, if you're a fourth grade teacher, you might not even completely decorate your class at the beginning. You might have stuff, you might be working out of bins or something because you're in preparation that come Christmas break, you're moving stuff, so it's gonna look different for some of the fourth, fifth grade teachers this year. So I think the thought was having some extra time both up front at the beginning of the year to think about that, plan for that. And there's a couple in attendance if they felt comfortable with, voicing thoughts on it. I mean, because I think we've got to get this right.
The only other thing that makes me nervous about the white calendar is a graduation date. If anything happens to the schedule, you're going to ask people to have the last day of school, then go home over the weekend, and then have another day of school on that Monday.
That's interesting.
The odds of that happening are probably slim, but they're not zero.
If it had to be pushed further out to include the 30th?
Yeah, so if something happened and we had to add another date on that, and we'd have to come in either on the 30th or, God forbid, in June.
Monday,
Well,
June 7th.
Hopefully, any snow that might put us over our 10-day NTI limit, we would have been able to figure out how to recoup that earlier than that day. But if we didn't, we could add an additional instructional day there on the 30th, and teachers would have to come back for closing day in June. But you can still squeeze out one more day there. Graduate on Friday. And I know Mr. Nash brought that up too. Traditionally, we have graduated on the same night as the last day of school. And I don't guess there's any reason we couldn't graduate on a Thursday night. People do that, but or just have it on Friday. Keep it on Friday, even the kids weren't there that day.
I think this may look different next year. I think, with the intermediate school, I think that's the obvious kicker this, going to this year with everything that we do. And it's, trying to, again, I've only been on here for doing this for a little over a year now, but my thought is always what's best for the kids. And that seems to guide me, keep the compass in check there instead of, because as a parent, I would probably go blue. That makes sense to me as, because when I see that, hey, we're out in Memorial and, and I'm thinking around Memorial Day, that makes sense to me maybe as a parent, but when I have teachers, especially those teachers that are going to be directly impacted this next year, I'm going to listen.
Do we have numbers on preferences from the teachers and other folks on the committee? Did we take a vote?
I didn't take a straw poll that afternoon, sorry.
I think the thought behind that was those folks that were there were representing so instead of sending out, instead of going and asking a bunch of teachers, no, you're representing the teachers today in this meeting. Same way I was there to kind of represent, the board or whatever. That was kind of the thought instead. And I think because we are behind on this already, obviously, we're all getting those emails already. I don't know how many you're getting, but my emails have been blowing up with the calendar.
Do you have a calendar or complex lights?
Yeah, complex lights in the calendar have been, I've been getting blown up over that.
Who said that?
I did. They aren't all the time, to tell you. They were on board with light. The teachers were on board.
Like almost everybody on the committee.
Yeah.
Everybody in the committee was on board.
Yeah, no, it was,
It wasn't, it was parents too, even the other people, but they were all white,
Okay.
yeah, it was, I honestly, I would have been blue, but I was clearly an odd man out, which I'm okay with that. Like, I'll do what's best for, yeah.
Was there any talk of moving like the Brown Day on the 7th to the 20th to like get a jump on moving? So like the teacher planning day, because we're moving into the intermediate school, we're unpacking, we're getting stuff ready. Was there any talk of putting that in December 20th, giving the kids that day off so you could start moving and getting ready? Because if I'm just saying, if it was my classroom, I'd rather
Hey, Rob, I think the talk was that people
Yeah,
can kind of start packing as they go.
January.
It's the unpacking that was the biggest concern to teachers.
It was the unpacking.
Yes, they thought, yeah.
You can pack things as you go without utilizing a lot of time, as opposed to a one-time big move was kind of the sense, which is why the discussion was after the break as opposed to before the break.
And, you know, there may be a scenario where they're still putting finishing touches on the building to where we may not be able to do much on the 20th. Aside from that, actually moving in, I guess there's a chance we may not be able to do that right at that point. So it may take us another 2 weeks to mop up and find out what's possible. So I think that buys you an extra 2 weeks.
Which in the construction world, that could be a very big deal. Yeah.
Any other questions? I don't want to make you stand up here. I know you love this calendar.
If I have any legacy of this school district, I'm going to have the Salisbury State Day named after it. And
the calendar.
a golden calendar placed on my
Any other questions or discussion?
No, I think we need to, yeah. Okay, I guess with Jamie, I'm still missing the draw to the white calendar. I know you say something, it's because they might be in toes, I'm still missing the draw to the white calendar coming back after Memorial Day.
It just gives them more time up front.
I
Yeah.
think
Yes.
That's why it's more time up front at the beginning of the school year, because I don't know how many teachers are going to come in on a summer break in June and July and do a bunch of stuff, but it gives them time up front in August when they come back. It gives them more time. What was it, like how many days on the? So what? 1, 2, 3, roughly 6 days of.
3 teacher planning.
Yeah.
2 professional development. So the teacher planning, they'll be doing things, but they don't.
You'll be getting the rooms ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it really just comes down to the intermediate school. That's where the
Yeah,
that's
it.
where the extra time can be needed. I don't know. Even, like you had said, like over the summer, I don't know. Like in June or July, is it even? It might be not possible to have large groups coming in and doing things because we may still have some construction things going on.
Typically, we do not have staff coming in large numbers anytime during June or July. Now, I will say, with all the respect in the world, the middle school and high school staff, the elementary school parking lot will be full on about August the 5th. That's just the nature of elementary teachers.
Yeah, right.
They're in there,
Yeah.
you know, and the high school and middle school staffs, kind of, it's a different mindset. They come in a little bit, a few days later.
Yeah. So it just, I guess where I was going with that, gives them a few more paid days. You have some elementary that's going to come in because we've got an amazing elementary school and staff, and then they're just going to do that, and then but giving them some actual paid days to come in and start getting ready for what's, it's just, this year's just going to be a different year, and I think it just gives them some help up front.
I see, okay. I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that the preference was, prefer to do that up front, and then, this next year, maybe we're not done before Memorial, but it's going to be a one-off year for a lot of things, and it's going to require a lot of give and take and patience by everyone,
So then I'll just go back to my concern of who's going to come back.
After Memorial Day. Yeah, it's a tough one. So if I just looked at it without all the other knowledge, I would pick blue because it just seems like that's the right choice. But the first thing I said was, this helps the intermediate school, like this white calendar helps the intermediate school. I know construction schedules are always 100% accurate. However, it might be a little bit I really appreciate your honesty and coming back and just sharing like this is what happened. I have been a member of that committee before, and I know it can be frustrating to come back and go, I was there and this is what was said, and then you've got 4 other people that are like, no.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. I think it's great that we've got.
We didn't
got
do it all the
folks that
time.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
For sure. And, yeah, you're like, oh, we spent all this time.
Yeah.
And Rob doesn't care because he likes to do
Right.
it. But,
Yeah.
so I think,
The more calendar meetings, the better.
yeah, right.
No one
So
ever.
I think we're in a pretty good place here. I think the key things, like community members, at least the people I hear from, like it's those holidays. Like that's what people want to know about. You're never going to make everybody happy on the end of the year or the start of the year. Like some people, just like some people are, they like to stay up late, and some people like to get up early. It's the same kind of thing. They want to get started, or people want to like put that off. But I think both these calendars are great. I tend to want to defer to the folks we've asked to help us make this decision. And if you're telling us this is what the teachers want, and I'm hearing from folks like this is what you want, that's where I'm leaning right now. Of course, we're not voting on anything tonight. So I would say unless there's some more discussion, like we can end this, and then again, like Matt and I will work on how quickly can we get a quorum together to make a selection on this. But my preference would be that we go with the recommendation of the committee and go with the white calendar.
Yeah, I respect that because I respect all those people that were in that room that gave time out of their schedules and it was represented, as you mentioned, the principals, the parents, the teachers, it was represented. And like I said, I'll be the first to tell you, I would have leaned another direction, but I'm okay with that because this is what the committee chose, and that makes sense to me. So.
It's not for us. It's
That's
for
right.
everybody else.
That's right.
That would be my recommendation.
I agree.
All right, I appreciate your time, and if anything else pops up between now and whenever the next meeting is, and you think of something you forgot to ask tonight, or something confounds you, feel free to call me. Happy to walk through.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Your legacy is never in jeopardy around here. You know for much more than the calendar guy.
All right, one item left on the agenda. Item 3U, adjournment. First by Heather, any questions? Oh, no, yeah, we tabled it, and we just had a discussion on that last. Thank you, though. I wouldn't put it past me this time. All right, do we have a second?
I will make it.
Second by Aubrey. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. We are adjourned at 7:05.